is so close to not only ghosts, but it's close to everything that would be considered murder and mayhem and all this kind of stuff. Would you feel that those two components can be parallel? Can they work together like that? Or is it strictly a serial killer versus a ghostly script or story? Are they two separate? Can they be together? What do you think?
I'm glad that you brought that up, because I get really tired of scripts that only deal with the physical, with the I'm going to chop your arm off and that kind of stuff. To me, The Exorcist was the best example of a horror film, because it dealt with something supernatural and physical dangers at the same time. And for me, that's the gold standard. I love haunted house movies. I love movies, anything that deals with supernatural, other forces that invade our world. It's fascinating, and it can also be very frightening.
But don't people like to be scared?
People need to be scared. We need to be scared, yeah.
In the old days, and I'll say in the old days, when Nightmare on Elm Street came out,
Yes.
that was scary, but it was funny. It was funny because you knew it was fake makeup. You knew that these things were made up because they are not as graphic and as gory and as awful as they are these days.
Yes.
These days, people want to see that arm get cut off and fly across the room, hit somebody in the head, and all the blood spurting out. I don't understand it. What is the fascination with that? Am I not seeing that correctly?
I think you are seeing it correctly, and I mean, guys, maybe you watching this, maybe you can answer, maybe you can write in to Gloria's site. And I don't understand the need to see graphically everything. To me, the unseen is a little bit more frightening. And plus, we're so jaded now, and we're so judgmental. We're like, I could see where they did the CGI on that, or I can see the prop on that. To me, a little goes a long way. I would almost rather see a blood spatter and just a quick shot of an axe going down than to actually watch it sever the arm, because then it doesn't have the same effect. It's like Marilyn Monroe. If she'd been naked for every movie the whole time, then you'd be like, eh. But as it was, she was Marilyn, and she had the plunging neckline, and it was much sexier, it was much more erotic. I think the unseen is a good thing.
And that's one of the things I like about ghost movies, but that's where it ends. And it ends there because they start out being a ghost movie and they end up being something else.
They end up wanting to show you the manifestation so fully that it's no longer something that goes bump in the night, because that's what a ghost is. To me, it's something goes bump in the night. It's a glimpse. It's what is that? It's something you catch out of the corner of your eye, not something that you watch fully for 5 minutes.
Now, Bill, have you ever had a paranormal experience?
I have. I grew up in what was known as the most haunted community in the South, in Georgetown, South Carolina. And we had a number of ghosts dating back from the plantation days. And one night on the beach, I did have an experience of great darkness, something that I really don't ever want to relive. And then once also in a theater, we were doing a play about ghosts. And there were some things that happened. When the real things happen to you, you're not always so eager to talk about them, I guess now I understand why people say they've been abducted by a UFO. You're like, if I talk about this, people think I'm crazy. So.
Well, that's how it was, again, in the old days when people used to think of these things. You were told you were a witch, you believed in the occult, or something like that.
Yes.
Nowadays, it's a very trendy thing to sit there and be a ghost hunter or paranormal investigator, and people don't look at you quite so funny.
Yes.
But there's always a question of, have you seen a ghost? Have you had an experience? Or what do you do about it? And it's difficult to explain when you don't have answers. There's always more questions than answers.
I'm so glad to hear you say that there are more questions than answers. And people don't want to hear that. They want you to explain.
That's right.
For their entertainment. But, yeah.
And everybody's got a ghost.
And guys, the noise that you hear, our room is filling up with our 12-step group coming in, so we might have to wind up shortly.
That's all right. We've got 10 more minutes.
All right.